Welcome to Sergio Creativity.
The softening rule. Consonant gradation. Welcome back. Today, we're going to learn about the heartbeat of the Finnish language. It's called consonant gradation. I want you to imagine that Finnish words are like a piece of music. When a word is in its basic form, it's relaxed and strong. But when we add an ending, like making it plural or saying we are inside somewhere, the word becomes crowded. To make room for that ending, the consonants in the middle have to soften or weaken. Don't try to memorize a list. Just follow the logic of the sounds. Part 1. The plural crowd. Double to single. Let's start with a very common sound, the double P. Imagine you are at a market and you see a cup. The word is kuppi. Say it for me. Kuppi. Good. Now, if you want to buy cups, plural, you add the letter T. But because that T crowds the word, one of the P's has to leave. Student, how would you say cups? Kupit. Exactly. You dropped a P. Kuppi becomes kupit. Now let's try the double K. The word for bag is laukku. How do you say bags? Laukut. Perfect. And the double T, the word for hat is hattu. How do you say hats? Hatut. Part 2. Location changes, softening the single consonant. Now, what if there is only one consonant? It doesn't disappear, it changes into a softer neighbor. A single T likes to turn into a D. Take the word for home, koti. If we want to say in the home, we add the ending essa. Student, turn that T into a D and add the ending. Kodissa. Spot on. Koti becomes kodissa. What about NK? In Finnish logic, the K sound is very fragile. When it gets crowded, NK turns into a ringing NG sound. Take the word for market, tori. No, let's use the word for shoes, kenka. In the shoe would be kengassa. Correct. You hear that G appearing. Kenka becomes kengassa. Part 3. Verb logic, the I form. This doesn't just happen to things, it happens to actions. In a specific group of verbs, when you say I, minä, the word gets crowded and weakens. The verb to bake is leipä. It has a P. When the word gets crowded by the I ending, N, the P turns into its softest neighbor, V. Student, how do you say I bake? Minä leivon. Excellent. Minä leivon. Now, let's look at to sleep. Nukkua. It has 2 Ks. Student, tell me I sleep. Minä nukun. You dropped the extra K. Perfect. But here's the trick. When we say he or she, hän, the word is not crowded. It stays strong. So if I sleep is minä nukun, how do you think you say he sleeps? Go back to the strong version. Hän nukkua. Close, but for he or she, we just stretch the last vowel. Hän nukkuu. Exactly. I is weak, nukun, but he is strong, nukkuu. Part 4. The chameleons. NT to NN. Some consonants are like chameleons. They just want to match the letter next to them. If you have NT, like in the word beach, ranta, when we say on the beach, ending lalla, the T is crushed and the N just doubles itself. Student, how do you say on the beach? Rannalla. Brilliant. The same happens with the verb to give, anta. If you want to say I give, the NT turns into NN. Student, minä annan. And how about he gives? Remember, he stays strong. Hän antaa. Part 5. Reviewing the logic. Let's do a final check. I'll give you the strong form, you give me the crowded or weak form. Plural. 1 cup is kupi. 2, kupit. Location. Holland is Hollanti. In Holland? Hollannissa. Action. To fly is lentää. I fly? Minä lennän. Action. To learn is oppia. I learn? Minä opin. You see, you're not memorizing a list, you're learning the physics of the sounds. As long as you remember that crowding a word usually makes it softer, you have unlocked the secret to Finnish grammar. Nähdään pian. See you soon.